Sorry if y'all can't hear me that well. I ain't got my mics with me. Had a 911 on the farm today. Look, everything's on fire behind me. They had planned on burning this right here. Luckily, they already pushed this fire guard. Crazy times. I don't have my tractor here. It's on a job. Man, look at the bugs around my head. I had to run next door, get my buddy's skid steer, used the grapple, pushed it all the way around. It's an existing fire guard they put in the other day trying to burn everything. It was too wet. Well, guess what? That fire that started this had been lit 4 weeks ago. It looked like it was out. It has went through rain and everything else. It started by itself. Just, I guess there was a piece of fat lighter is what they call it. We call it lighter knot. I guess that was down in the bottom of it, maybe smoldering, some coals or whatever. But it caught a fire today, and here we are. Luckily, these woods behind me have been burnt before, and the flames aren't in the tops of these pine trees going through here, wreaking havoc on everything. Had a couple things working for me right here. But look, y'all put them fires out, make sure they out. I got the neighbor coming with a bush hog on the west side of the property right here. Is tall grass. That tall grass goes to my mill shed, to my house, to my barn, to wood, to logs. He's coming with the bush hog. We're gonna bush hog some lanes there, use the grapple to try to make that fire guard. Well, needless to say, I've been doing a little panicking this evening. Well, look, hope y'all ain't panicking and stressed out as I was earlier. Hope all is well. And we're gonna try to get some more footage of this and try to get all this mess contained up. All right, y'all. Whew. See what kind of woods. It ain't real thick that way, but look, just can't get around in here. Pump up sprayer and water. I'm just glad it wasn't too crazy big and I burnt this before. But I'm pretty sure I got this contained. Got all the edges good and wet. Stick smoke and kick it in the fire. Got all of it put out best I know. Hopefully it don't dry too much tonight. I'm gonna have to go around here. You see how it's, I put it out here a while ago trying to get back to the bigger stuff to stop it. I'll come back through and wet it all again. I don't know where y'all from, but this pine straw is a perfect spot for copperhead snakes and rattlesnakes. So not only am I trying to put out fire, I'm sorry about the camera action because I can't stop doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to look for snakes also. I'm heading out the woods to get another thing of water. My bush hog man's here. Gotta go line him out. I'll wear the bush hog just for safety measures. And I'll update y'all when we get this done. Update y'all tomorrow. See you then. Good morning, y'all. It's the next morning and give y'all an update on the fire. Can you hear it? All that started back up. Everything being so dry that those pine needles and all the roots from the plants makes a mat underneath the wood on the ground in there. Even though I sprayed it down with water yesterday and soaked it pretty good, that stuff burns way up underneath there, and without a soaking rain, it can start back up. Well, it did last night. So, pop-up sprayer torch. I have a good fire guard around this thing that I made yesterday evening. We're gonna go fight fire with fire, and I'm gonna try to burn it from the edges in and contain it just a little bit better than what it is. And we're gonna get this little stretch of woods right here burned down. It's the only way I know to do it. It's just a slow process. I feel it's contained pretty well right now, but I'd like to get this fire done and over with so I can get back on to doing my daily routine. It's a very slow burn going across the ground under these woods. It's not no big blaze and roaring fire. It just won't go out. You can see what it's done right here. It has burned it down pretty good. I'm glad that it has already been burnt in there one time a couple years ago. That's definitely helped matters for sure. Because if you haven't burned pine woods before, you get these big bushes. We call them buck bushes, tie vines. There's several names. I don't know the real name for them anyway. They get them bushes about 10 feet tall under them pines. The pine needles fall, hang in them, and then the fire starts at the ground, and you'll have a raging fire going out the tops of the pine trees, way above the tops of the pine trees. Them pine needles will be on fire, and they'll float, and then you got a real mess. Can get kind of crazy. But I'm just trying to get everything set up. But with that being burnt before, it's just burning on the ground. Every now and then you'll have a little flare up, but it won't be nothing too crazy. So that's our plan. That's what we got going. We're gonna go fight fire with fire and get this thing put out. We got that joker contained. We got this little bitty piece. See, here's the fire guard. It may be 30 feet wide right here. Then the fire guard turns, maybe 30 feet wide right here. As you can see behind me this way, everything is burned. There's a lot of smoke, a lot of smoldering, because there's still a lot of limbs like that on fire. A few pine trees, see that right there? That pine pitch, it burns really well. Works great in a survival circumstance also. You can see everything's burned, and there's a lot of smoke. The moral of the story is, be careful with fire. This right here, like I say, was at least 3.5 weeks ago. This pile was lit about 400 or 500 yards that way behind me. A driveway on one side, a pond on one side, disced up on one side. There was about a 20-foot section. And the neighbor called me and said, "Hey, everything you got over there is on fire. It's burning over there." Ain't like no fire. Well, needless to say, it sparked up. Evidently, them coals was underground and stayed going and lit a piece of that lighter knot on fire and crossed a couple pieces of grass or something, or roots or whatever may have been in the area. And here we are. But this thing's just about completely burned down. Feel comfortable about it being contained, because the main thing I didn't want it to do, spin around this way. Fire's in here. This tall grass right here. If it got there, there's my sawmill shed, there's my barn. You can see through the bushes, there's the house. All that grass goes that way. Oh, Oh man, can't get out of here. The briars. Bear with me here. Ow, I'm hung up. All right, see, this grass is what I didn't really want it to hit. Plus I have this right here. So hey, we looking good. Y'all be safe with that fire. Pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure it's all the way out. Well, look, hope y'all have a good day, good weekend, good evening, good morning, whatever it may be. Y'all come back and see us. Glad y'all stopped in. Y'all come back, you hear?